Ladies and gentlemen, week one is here, and I only have one question. Can I do better at Pick'em than I did last season? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Billievers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to the week one Pick'em edition of Billievers Talk for the 2020 NFL season. I can't believe I'm saying it either, guys. I am so excited for this Thursday night, the first game of the 2020 NFL season. And what a better way to celebrate than give you guys a pick'em video. Last year we started the pick'em videos every single week, giving you my straight up winners and also giving you my winners against the spreads every Wednesday. So make sure you're looking forward to that. If you're a fan of pick'em videos and you're not subscribed to Believers Talk, hit that subscribe button for continual Buffalo Bills and Buffalo sports news, plus these pick'em videos. Hit that notification bell. YouTube will notify you when we are posting new content. While you're here, like this video and let me know your picks, guys, in the comment section. Who do you have winning these games? Who do you have winning against the spread? I think it's always fun to pick games against the spread unless you're losing money, and if you went with my picks last season against the spread, I probably ended up losing you money. So take some good advice. Don't use these picks to go to Vegas. I have no professional knowledge or anything like that as to why the spreads are the way they are. I just like picking them and let me lose my money, right? I just don't want to lose your money. So let's get right into it. Let's start with week one of the NFL football season. Obviously, like I said, everyone's very excited about this week, and just like every other season for the past 18 years, the winner of the Super Bowl gets the home game the following year. I think there was one year in there where there was a conflict with the stadium, but for the most part, the winner of the previous year's Super Bowl gets that week one game, and it's no different this season, as Thursday on September 10th, tomorrow night, we are going to be watching the Kansas City Chiefs go up against the Houston Texans in Kansas City. I think that's a great first matchup to have on primetime television. Remember the playoff game last season when the Houston Texans jumped out to an early 24-3 lead on the Kansas City Chiefs or something like that, and Kansas City just was like that, said, no, you don't have a lead. We're up 28-24 at halftime, actually, so don't worry about it. We got it covered. So I think Houston might have a little bit of vengeance on their mind. And when you talk about being 9.5-point underdogs, Houston's going to feel a little disrespected coming into the NFL season. Now, we all know they shipped DeAndre Hopkins off to the Arizona Cardinals for, I think they got a peanut butter sandwich out of the deal, and we all know that they brought Brandon Cooks in. So can the Houston Texans offense match the Kansas City Chiefs offense? I don't think that's going to happen. This Kansas City Chiefs offense, we all remember how good it is, how good it was at least last season. Now, you're talking about a 9.5-point spread. That's a lot of points, guys. That's a lot of points week one. And I think the lack of preseason games might come back to haunt some of these teams that have big spreads in week one. So although I have Kansas City winning this game, and I have Kansas City winning this game, I think the Texans can cover a 9.5-point spread. Again, I don't see Houston's offense being as good as it was last season, but it's week one. I think the defense is fresh. That means JJ Watt is fresh, coming off injury. Let's see how he comes back. He's been injury prone the past couple of years. Let's see if he can start the season off with a bang and maybe help this Houston Texans team keep this game close. But again, give me Kansas City to win this game overall. Then you go to Atlanta, where the Atlanta Falcons are 1.5-point underdogs. This is the first game on a slate of Sunday games. Give me the Atlanta Falcons go up against the Seattle Seahawks. I really like the Seattle Seahawks team. If you watch my playoff prediction video from yesterday, I had the Seahawks going pretty far, I think, to the NFC Championship game for the NFC side of things. And it starts by going 1-0 here. Listen, a lot of people are always high on the Atlanta Falcons since their Super Bowl run, and it seems like since then they've just lost a little bit of that swagger that they had that season, and everyone's high on them because of Julio Jones, Matt Ryan. They have a great team, and they just don't produce. So until they can prove otherwise, I'm going to keep the Atlanta Falcons down and say until you prove that you can produce on a high level consistently, I'm not going to have you winning too many games. Give me the Seattle Seahawks to win this game. Give me the Seattle Seahawks to cover a 1.5-point spread. Then you go to Baltimore, where the Baltimore Ravens, defending AFC North champions, go up against the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland coming into Baltimore as 9-point underdogs. Again, as I said for the Thursday night game, a lot of points being given out here, and I'm just not sure these offenses are ready to cover such big spreads. Besides, the Browns offense ain't a joke either. I know they've struggled at times last season, but you talk about Baker Mayfield, you talk about Landry, you talk about Odell Beckham, you talk about some of these players, Nick Chubb. They have some weapons and they can score some points. Might make it hard for Baltimore to cover a 9-point spread. And remember, Cleveland was one of Baltimore's losses last season, and Baltimore didn't have too many losses last season, at least in the regular season. So give me the Baltimore Ravens to win this game, but a 9-point spread is pretty big. Give me the Browns to cover the spread. Then you go on to Carolina, where the Carolina Panthers, new head coach, new quarterback, go up against the Las Vegas Raiders. It might take me a little bit to get used to saying the Las Vegas Raiders. First season in Vegas for the Raiders. The Carolina Panthers, 2.5-point underdogs in this game, and I just don't think they are ready yet. Again, lack of preseason games might affect the team like the Carolina Panthers with a new coach, with a new quarterback, with a younger wide receiving core. I think that might come into a factor, and I always have Christian McCaffrey, right? And that's always something that you have to take credit for, or be prepared for if you are the opposing team. Don't know if the Raiders are going to be able to stop McCaffrey, right? I don't know if any team this year is going to be able to stop McCaffrey, but the goal is not to stop McCaffrey. The goal is to win games. So can the Raiders play keep away up from McCaffrey possibly and put some points on the board? I think so. I think Vegas wins this game, starts the Las Vegas Raiders out on a good note, 1-0, and they cover a 2.5-point spread. Then you go to Ford Field, the Detroit Lions 3-point favorites against the Chicago Bears. I like the Detroit Lions in this matchup. Matthew Stafford, before he went out last year, was having a pretty solid season. Now, the record I don't think was indicative of the season he was having, but I think that the Detroit Lions can turn this thing around, right? Matt Patricia has been doing a decent job up in Detroit, and the Bears are just struggling, right? Matt Nagy is going to be on the hot seat this season. You talk about Trubisky or Nick Foles. I think they're starting with Trubisky, but that could seriously last maybe one drive before they decide to go with Nick Foles with how Trubisky played last season. So give me the Detroit Lions to cover a 3-point spread and win this game. Then you move on to Jacksonville. Jacksonville is a 7.5-point dog to the Indianapolis Colts. I really like some of the moves the Colts have made this offseason. Getting Phillip Rivers in there obviously is going to be a huge help. You still got T.Y. Hilton, one of the best wide receivers in the game, and I think he's very underrated just due to the fact that Jacoby Brissett wasn't exactly the quarterback that you want behind center as your starting quarterback. A great backup quarterback, I think. Someone who come in and win you a few games. But as far as a starter goes, you saw his capabilities last season. But I like T.Y. Hilton in this offense. I like the Indianapolis Colts offense overall with this offensive line. And Jacksonville, let's just be honest, they're not going to have too many wins this season. They're just a barn fire, right? They're just on sale, it seems like, selling every single player. Who are the best players on the team now? Gardner Minshew? I mean, they're a very young team, and it seems like they're tanking for Trevor this season. So give me the Indianapolis Colts to win this game. However, this is in Jacksonville. And again, I think these big spreads can get to some of these teams. Give me the Jaguars to cover a 7.5-point spread. It might surprise some people that they would cover such a spread. But give me the Jaguars to cover that spread. Then you go on to the Minnesota Vikings, a divisional matchup. Some divisional matchups right here in a row. Colts playing Jacksonville was a divisional matchup. Bears, Detroit, divisional matchup. Now we're talking about the Packers at Minnesota playing the Minnesota Vikings. Huge divisional matchup for these two teams to start the season. You look at the Minnesota Vikings team losing Stephon Diggs to our Buffalo Bills. They still have a pretty good offensive unit led by Kirk Cousins. I still don't think Kirk Cousins is worth all that money, but it's not coming out of my wallet, so what do I care? You look at the Green Bay Packers, drafting a quarterback in the first round of the 2020 NFL draft. You don't think that that's in Aaron Rodgers' mind, that his team, his front office, does not believe that he can help this team win long term? And I think that's going to show up on the field in week one. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a little mad about this situation that's going on with Jordan Love. And I think when you get a mad Aaron Rodgers in the game, there are a lot of things he can do. So even though the Green Bay Packers are underdogs in this game, even though the Vikings have a good offensive unit and a pretty solid defensive unit as well, I think the Packers are going to win this one. On the road, I think the Packers just win this one straight out. So there is no spread to cover because they are the underdogs. So give me Green Bay to win and give me Green Bay against the spread. Moving on to New England for one of two divisional matchups in the AFC East as the Evil Empire, the New England Patriots, go up against the Miami Dolphins in New England. And we talk about how the Miami Dolphins give New England problems every single season. Well, it seems like they give them problems in Miami. When they're in New England, it seems to be a different tune. Now, of course, this New England team is just different, right? No Tom Brady, you got Cam Newton in there instead. But you cannot count out Bill Belichick and his mastermind. I think Bill Belichick's a very smart head coach. Unfortunately, the Bills have suffered that wrath for the past 20 seasons. Hopefully this year it changes. But in this game, give me the New England Patriots to win, start 1-0. But give me the Miami Dolphins to cover a 6.5-point spread. I like Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick always seems to give New England fits. So New England fits, get it? But anyway, give me the Dolphins to cover a 6.5-point spread. Give me New England to win the game. Then you go on to Washington for another divisional matchup as the Philadelphia Eagles go into Washington to play the Washington football team. The football team, I don't know what do you call them? The football team, right? The Washington football team are 6.5-point underdogs in this one, and I really like the Eagles in this matchup. I mean, I think Carson Wentz has a lot to prove still. Zach Ertz, one of the best tight ends in this game. Sanders is going to be a good running back for them in the backfield. They've been suffering some injuries as of late to start the season. You never want a season start with injuries. Jason Peters is actually moving back to tackle for the Philadelphia Eagles. But give me the Eagles to win this game and give me the Eagles to cover a 6.5-point spread. Then moving on to our game, if you're a Bills fan, moving on to the Buffalo Bills game. They are at home this season to start off the year against the New York, New Jersey Jets. The Jets coming in, Sam Darnold is still there, but a lot of their team is either injured or decided to opt out, including C.J. Mosley. Remember how much of a beast C.J. Mosley was against the Bills for 3 quarters last season in the first game of the year. He's not going to be there, right? You have Le'Veon Bell for the Jets, but he had his worst year last year of his career for the New York Jets. You still have Adam Gase as your head coach, which shocks me just because I don't know what he's proven as far as winning is concerned in the NFL. But I think this Buffalo Bills team, with the improvements they made this offseason, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, and you talk about Zach Moss. You talk about this defense not losing too many pieces. The only piece they lost on the starting rotation was Lorenzo Alexander, replaced by A.J. Klein. Give me the Buffalo Bills to win this matchup, and since they are 6-point favorites, give me the Buffalo Bills to cover a 6-point spread. Moving on, I got the 4 o'clock games coming up, and you look at the first 4 o'clock game is the LA Chargers going to Cincinnati to play the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati 3-point underdogs in this one. And guys, I'm not going to lie, I like Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati could pull off the upset here, even though they are underdogs. Listen, as Bills fans, we know what to expect out of Tyrod Taylor, right? Don't turn the ball over. Have plenty of 3 and outs. The defense can play the checks up a little bit. They be fine. Just don't get beat deep. But who are you necessarily getting beat deep by? There's not too much speed when it comes to the Allen is a good wide receiver, but I don't think speed is the first thing I think of when I think about Allen, but maybe I'm wrong. But give me the Cincinnati Bengals to actually upset the Chargers in this one at home. So give me Cincy to win it and give me Cincy to beat the spread, let alone cover a 3-point spread. So then you move to New Orleans for probably the game of the week. I'm really surprised this is not a more prime time game. I'm sure Fox is going to be having this game, and I'm sure this is going to be the game of the week, America's game of the week, whatever they call it, with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. But yeah, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, obviously one of the favorites to go to the Super Bowl, with Tom Brady, with LaShawn McCoy, with Fournette, with a bunch of great players over there in Tampa Bay. Obviously, Stub Evans there. Now you have Gronkowski there. A lot of great players on that offense going against another great offense in the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, the best wide receiver currently in the NFL. I think this is going to be a game with fireworks, right? Now, I'm not sure how well the offenses will produce, because again, I think it's going to take some time for these offenses to mesh, but I think it's going to take more time for Tampa Bay. You have all those new pieces than it will for New Orleans. New Orleans, 3.5-point favorites in this game. I like New Orleans to win this game, and I like them to cover a 3.5-point spread, maybe closer to a touchdown in this one. So give me New Orleans all day. Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be a really formidable team this year. Just going to take them some time to mesh as a group. Bruce Arians will have them ready to go, after a quarter way through the season. So give me the New Orleans Saints to start off, but that does not mean these two will not be going back and forth in that division. Next, you have the Arizona Cardinals, who should be much improved, going up against the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers, 7.5-point favorites. Guys, we all know about the Super Bowl curse, right? The team that loses the Super Bowl has a hard time even making it back to playoffs the following season, which makes it even more impressive what the Buffalo Bills did back in the early 90s. 4 in a row. Unfortunately, couldn't win one, but it just makes that stat even more impressive, if you will. So San Fran's going to have a struggle, right? Going to have a struggle to get back to where they want to be, to get back to the Super Bowl. This Arizona team looks very much improved on last season. Kyler Murray is being talked about in MVP candidacies. You talk about Offensive Player of the Year candidacies. So I think this Arizona offense, you talk about the addition of DeAndre Hopkins, is going to be much improved. But I like San Fran's defense. San Fran's a really good team. They were no fluke making it to the Super Bowl last season. They proved a lot. They proved a lot of people wrong last season. Give me San Fran to win this game. But again, 7.5 points. That's a lot of points. Give me Arizona to cover that 7.5-point spread. So now we're moving to Sunday Night Football. So Sunday night, you got the Dallas Cowboys going up against the LA Rams. The Rams, 2.5-point underdogs. Dallas always seems to find themselves on primetime week 1. I don't know why. They have themselves on primetime a couple more times this season. But give me Dallas to win this game. I think Dallas has a very impressive roster. I think Dallas has a very great offense. When you talk about Dak Prescott coming back, Ezekiel Elliott being there, Amari Cooper, a lot of big pieces come back for Dallas. And I think it shows in week 1. And the Dallas Cowboys be a Rams team who I think is beginning to go downhill, and maybe not even beginning to, but the slide to go downhill is continuing. They might be the worst team in the NFC West this season. Not saying that that's terrible, because that West division is going to be really tough. The Bills are going to find that out this year. But give me Dallas to win this game. Give me Dallas to cover a 2.5-point spread. Then you move on to Monday Night Football. And in week 1, the NFL decides to put 2 games on Monday Night Football. First of which is the Pittsburgh Steelers going into New York, New Jersey to play the New York Giants. The Steelers are 5-point favorites in this one. Guys, I like the Steelers this year. If Ben can stay healthy, if this team can stay healthy, James Conner, great young rookie back. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this game. But 5-point spread in East Rutherford, I think the Giants are going to turn some heads this year. I think they're going to win more than what people give them credit for. Give me the Giants to cover a 5-point spread. But give me the Steelers to start 1-0. Then the last game of week 1. By the time we get here, all the other games will have played. We would have had a great week 1, hopefully, all celebrating the Buffalo Bills winning and being 1-0. But we have the Tennessee Titans going to Denver, going to Mile High, and playing the Denver Broncos. The Broncos, 2-point underdogs. We just found out about Von Miller being out for the season. Tough break for the Denver Broncos. I had them as my 7th seed in the playoffs. Still might be able to get it done. Still have a lot of offensive weapons on that team. Still have a pretty decent defense, even without Von Miller. Someone's going to have to step up as the vocal leader of that defense. But I think this defense can still rally around the fact that now that Von Miller's gone, not too many people give him a lot of credit. I think the Denver Broncos can win this game against the Tennessee Titans. Not sure what to make of the Tennessee Titans. I know they were in the AFC Championship game last year, but it took them some time to get going in the early parts of the season. In fact, it's been that way the last 2 seasons. Don't know if I could trust Ryan Tannehill. We remember what we saw in him in Miami. So give me the Denver Broncos to win this game. That means give me the Denver Broncos to beat a 2-point spread. So going over my games again, let me make sure I get this right, and then I will also give you my suicide pick for the week. So straight up, I have the Kansas City Chiefs, Seattle Seahawks, Baltimore Ravens, Las Vegas Raiders, Detroit Lions, the Indianapolis Colts, Green Bay Packers, New England Patriots, Philadelphia Eagles, Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals, New Orleans Saints, San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Denver Broncos. Against the spread, you have the Houston Texans, Seattle Seahawks, Cleveland Browns, Las Vegas Raiders, Detroit Lions, Jacksonville Jaguars, Green Bay Packers, Miami Dolphins, Philadelphia Eagles, Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals, New Orleans Saints, the Arizona Cardinals, the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants, and then the Denver Broncos. So those are my picks this week. Again, let me know what you think in the comment section. Guys, if you are in a suicide pool this year, and I know that might be a little up in the air because we didn't know what this football season would look like, so I'm not sure how many people were able to get into a suicide pool this season. But as I look at these games and you're like, hey Joe, what would be your pick this week? Guys, I always say week 1, you can't take any chances, right? I know you want to save your good teams, but what's the point of saving them if you don't make it past week 1? I don't like betting. Here are my rules when it comes to trying to do survivor pools. First of all, I won't pick the away team. I'll try to stay away from the away teams. I try to stay away from divisional matchups. I try to stay away from prime time games. Those are like my 3 rules that I try to stick by when picking survivor pool games. So I continue to look down this list. So who does that leave? What games does that leave? What home team is favored and not playing a divisional opponent? And that leaves us with nobody, right? You look at down the list, up and down this list, that leaves us with absolutely nobody. The only other games where the home team is favored is the 49ers over Arizona, the Buffalo Bills over the Jets, the Patriots over the Dolphins, the Vikings over the Packers, and then the Lions over the Bears. Those are and the Ravens over and the Browns. So those are your non-prime time favorites at home, and they're all divisional matchups. So it's really tough for me week 1. So I would probably lean on the side of taking a comfortable team, a team that you're very comfortable with winning. And as I look at these spreads, one of my favorite teams here has to be the Indianapolis Colts, right? You can't go against the Indianapolis Colts, against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, the Jags just look like they're a hot mess. So take the Colts as your survivor pick. A long way for me to say not a great pick here. I don't like picking the road teams, but luckily very few fans in the stands, if any at all, and Jacksonville's just a hot mess. So give me the Colts in my survivor pool and give me the teams I listed straight up and against the spread. Again, let me know what you think in the comment section, and then we'll hopefully be right. We'll hopefully all be celebrating together. I'll be celebrating if the Bills beat the Jets. So again, let me know what you think. Hit that thumbs up button. I really do appreciate it. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.